We're on.
Oh, we're on?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh. Welcome to Plymouth After Dark. Oh, Jesus, look at the shot. Look at the shot. You just cannot get good help. Yeah, I want you to fix that. Are we actually recording this?
Yes, we are.
Well, see, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've got a new beard style going on. I no longer want anybody out there to refer to me as Al, the guy from Tool Time. Okay?
Yeah, that's actually a good name, though.
Why is that a good name?
Because it sounds good, but it doesn't matter what I'm saying because he can't switch because he came into the studio to fix the camera.
They have no
shot.
idea who.
Watch that live.
who's on
Ooh,
here.
nice pan live.
Yeah.
Look at that. And
That
Look,
was
there's
that
my
was
hand.
that was taught you by
There's my
Dave
hand.
Feiner here. I can tell.
I didn't teach the studio class.
Oh, that's right. You didn't teach that.
Oh.
Actually, we're here, and you can't see him, but in about 5 seconds, you'll see. Well, Mike's back in the control room. Mike, give a shot of yourself.
Ah!
Oh.
Hi, Mike.
And we're here with Dave Feiner, wrestling and baseball extraordinaire
Aficionado.
aficionado, whatever. And we're going to talk about his fetish with baseball
Fetish?
and his predeterminants with wrestling tonight.
What about it?
What is your asphyxiation with?
Well, wrestling is something I've been watching since I was yay tall. And, you know, it just...
Actually, I got a question about wrestling. It's changed a lot in the past few years. Nowadays, there's all sorts of disgusting, vulgar things on wrestling.
I think I agree with you. There's a lot of vulgarity and there's a lot of things that are on that that may not be appropriate for children.
Exactly.
But
like this show.
exactly. But you got to also know that wrestling is on at between 8 and 11. And all the
Right.
vulgar stuff happens between 10 and 11. And if your kid's up at 10 o'clock at night, like on a Tuesday or a Thursday, or Monday night watching wrestling, you know, that's a parental consent thing. I think that if the parent decides that the kid's allowed to watch it, then fine.
Which is exactly the point of this program. We start at 10 o'clock. What nights is it on?
Tuesday and Thursday.
No wonder we don't get anybody watching us on
Right.
Thursday night.
Right.
And
Why,
Tuesday
what's
and
on-
Thursday? That's
what's-
when this show's on. 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
That's when all the vulgar stuff happens.
right, exactly.
That's when the Nitro Girls come out.
No, wrestling's on Monday nights. Oh,
Right.
Monday and Thursday, that's right. Yeah.
We got to change our timing.
Oh. But no,
Actually-
wrestling's changed a lot in the last couple of years. I mean, they went from, you know, good guy, bad guy, and now it's...
Bad
you
guy,
can't-
worst guy.
Yeah, you can't tell who the good guy is anymore. I mean, the most popular wrestler in almost history, Steve Austin, he comes out and he hits his boss and he, you know, he flips the bird to everybody, and it's not pretty, but that's-
Once in a while, I'd like to hit my boss.
I don't want to hit my boss. I know that
No,
much.
of course
Like-
not. Well, actually, you got a good boss, which
Yes,
is
I do.
which is actually different.
Yeah.
I'm serious about that. I'm not
Okay.
joking. I've had bosses that I've wanted to hit.
Okay.
But, I've
But-
wanted to bring Coors into the office, drink it on the desk after I push everything off of it into their office. What do you think of that?
Well,
That's
if you
what-
work for the WWF, you just take your boss into the ring and throw him like a stone cold stunner or something.
Actually, what do you
and-
think of it going public? Because it's
I haven't really read a lot about it. I haven't read enough about it to actually form my own opinion. I just guess that now the masses own the WWF. And
well, they're selling 20% of the stock, which is
I
is
thought it
hardly
was like
any.
40.
No, it's like 20% from what I read from the IPO.
But I do know that the stock has risen and fallen enough times in the
has
last
gone
month
public.
and a half to make people who have bought the stock really get sweaty palms.
Do you think that it's volatile based on the nature of what goes on? Like if somebody comes out, and do you think they realize it's sports entertainment, not?
Do you mean by what the fans think?
Yeah.
I think the little kids, obviously, you know, if I do this, it looks real. It looks like I'm hitting you.
Right.
But you got to know how to take a punch. That's where the
sell.
That's where the faking comes in.
The sell.
It's entertainment. Wrestling is just as practiced and predetermined as
Baseball.
figure skating. Figure skating. Nancy Kerrigan goes out there and does a routine. How many times
Don't
did
say
she
Nancy
practice
Kerrigan.
that? Okay, Tanya Harding. Whoever
Don't say
else.
Tanya Harding.
Well, name a
Christy
figure
Yamaguchi.
skater. Christy Yamaguchi goes out, and how many times does she practice that little routine before she goes out in front of the masses and does it?
But
mean,
what about
10,
what
15?
about? Well, baseball, I guess, is the same way,
Baseball
too.
is not pre-planned.
No, but I mean, they go out and practice
Practice.
in the same way.
Yeah, wrestling is not a sport, but people train for it just like any other sport. Am I right or am I right?
You're right. Dave Feiner, figure skater.
Figure skate? No, I'm not. Definitely not a figure skater.
It's this baseball thing. I got to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
Because- Actually, I want to tell you something. I want to lead into this.
Go
You
nuts.
know that there's a lot of fantasy sports going on. Do you
Yep.
play any fantasy
I play
baseball,
fantasy- I play-
cyber athlete?
I play fantasy role right now, football. I play
Well,
fantasy
there's a
football.
new one out, and I want everybody to know this. There's a brand new game out, and it's going to be leaded into with television series. You know, all these Y2K series and things like that. It's going to be led into like that, like Earthquake in New York. It's going to be, what if the Red Sox, and this will never happen, what if the Red Sox could
I'm
win
leaving.
the World Series?
I'm leaving. I don't like this.
It's a great fantasy game.
No, it isn't.
What do you think of that this year? I mean,
The Red Sox not winning the World Series?
they were so close, weren't they?
The Red Sox, I think the city of Boston and the fans of the Boston Red Sox, if they ever did win the World Series, what would the fans of that team complain about? See, there are two sides to that story. I have a lot of friends who live in the city of New York, and the Yankees have won 3 of the last 4 World Series. Now, I have wanted to have the feeling of my team winning a championship, and it hasn't happened, and I'm jealous of the New Yorkers.
They win how
They
many?
have 3 of the last 4.
All right.
But it's just, I wish I could have that feeling, and I envy them.
But instead, it's actually a Bostonian way to feel agony and defeat.
Yeah. I mean, I remember October 25th, 1986, Bill Buckner bent over to pick up a ground ball and it went through his legs. I was
Right, right.
11. I
That's
was
a
11
famous quote from-
I was 11 years old and I cried my eyes out. My uncle and my great uncle sat with me and they said, "You'll learn." That's what they said to me.
I think I saw a commercial like that where it was each one, and the grandfather saw this one, and the father saw this one, and you know, what is it you're going to say, or your kids are going to say? How bad are they going to screw up this time?
Well, it's happened over the last 81 years, and I don't know. Hopefully, it'll happen soon.
Really? What do you think about the Tide car in NASCAR winning again? This is for 17 straight years, he's won at least one
Great.
race in the season, but there's only 2 races left this season. What do you think of that?
That's wonderful.
You don't care, do you?
I don't.
You absolutely
Loves NASCAR. I don't even know what NASCAR stands for.
Oh, you know, it's North American Stock Car Auto Racing. I think I'll look it up though.
Do you know, Mike? Do you know that my life is now complete knowing what NASCAR stands for? I can see. Clueless.
I think that wasn't a derogatory thing. I think that was a positive thing they
Okay.
meant to do. I did have
What?
another question for you.
What?
This whole wrestling thing.
Back
You
to
think it's going
wrestling.
to go away?
Go away? No. Wrestling makes way too much money right now, no matter what the FCC thinks or what the American public thinks. Like Pat and I were saying this afternoon, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And for
Exactly
those
my
that
point with
can't
with wrestling
stand
and baseball.
for those that can't stand wrestling, for every one person that can't stand wrestling, there are 5 people that love it.
For every one person that can't stand wrestling, there are 5 that like NASCAR.
Exactly. But you know what else?
Down south.
But you know what else is the other thing about wrestling is if wrestling is so bad, why are 23,000 seat arenas being sold out across the country every
That's it?
night?
23,000?
Well, basketball and hockey arenas. They
That's a
don't-
lot of rednecks.
I mean, and it goes. You know, I
We
went to
dropped a bomb
I
on
went to a
World
live
Series.
I went to a live wrestling show at the Fleet Center last year. Okay, it was on Monday Night Raw, something like that, and there were 21,000, 22,000 screaming wrestling fans from the Boston area. I didn't think there were that many wrestling fans in the world.
I was there.
Yeah, right.
I was.
I mean, it was nuts. I went to
Right.
WrestleMania a couple of years. I went to WrestleMania a couple of years ago at the Fleet Center.
Right.
It was just absolutely live on a pay-per-view. It was nuts.
What do you think that does for the area that the
You mean
particular
money co-
arenas
money?
and your money coming into the area?
I mean, they will book a figure. I don't mean to rank on figure skating. I hope people don't call me and start nailing me for.
Yeah, because he actually wants to rank on NASCAR.
What if they book a figure skating event at the Fleet Center and they get 5,000 people? What's the point of having it there?
They don't. They actually use the Northeastern.
Exactly, because they know they can't sell out the
Arena.
Fleet Center. See, do you see what I mean?
There's no seats there.
22,000 seats. They know that they can't sell it out for figure skating, so they put it at BU or BC or Northeastern. They know they can sell out the Fleet Center, and they do every single time.
The wrestling.
The wrestling.
Actually, I had another question for you.
Why is there feedback?
It's because of the way that our mic does.
What does that say? Knows this stuff? Go ahead.
It's the way the mic is
Oh, okay.
working with the interaction. It
Okay.
doesn't go out on the air.
Okay.
Single-handedly, the baseball season a couple years ago, by going on strike, they reminded me of elementary school teachers going on strike. For how long did they go on strike?
They're on strike for 6 months.
Now, do they make money when they're on strike?
No, they do not.
For 6 months?
They do not make money when they're on strike.
But they make it back later on the contract.
No, because they were on strike. They were on strike. They weren't locked out. That's in their contract that if they strike, they don't make any money.
Good.
But
Glad.
for the players that are making are in the upper tier of salaries, those players have endorsement deals that pay them, if not as much, almost as much anyway. So for the players that are making $10 million a year, they probably have enough endorsements to cover $8 million a year. See what I mean?
What are you saying?
So they don't understand why fans are so upset with their greediness, because if they're not making the money playing baseball, they're making the money pitching some advertisement. Michael Jordan, in wrong sport, but Michael Jordan.
Well, actually, the right sport in one case for about a month.
Yeah, they were locked out. That's a different story. The owners said you cannot play. In basketball, Michael Jordan, his last season in the NBA, I'm Michael Jordan. In his last season in the NBA, I think he made like $3.5 million. This is the greatest player in the history of the National Basketball Association. He was making $3.5 million a year. Do you know what he was making in endorsements? Take a guess.
$65 million.
He made $42 million alone in endorsements that year. He could have quit basketball, and he still would have been making $42 million. He was locked out. Well, actually, he retired before the lockout. But if he was locked out, he would have made plenty of money. Basketball was a hobby to him. You see, half these the upper tier of
Well,
any
he has
player,
to become good enough
right,
to make
but
it.
any player that's in the upper echelon or the upper tier, they make plenty of money outside of the sport that they love or play to go on without the sport.
And you're telling me that this that you have is not a fetish?
Fetish
What is it that you have with
with baseball?
With baseball.
Well, when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to play, so I stuck my nose in the newspaper remembering statistics.
Weren't
and
allowed to play.
I had physical limitations when I was a
Okay.
kid. And so I stuck my nose in the newspaper remembering statistics and remembering baseball fetish, and remembering, just kids in the neighborhood would make fun of me. They'd say, who won the World Series in 1934? And anybody could tell you that it was the St. Louis Cardinals.
Really, I knew that. You can quiz me on that, and I know that stuff definitely up.
That's what I got into. I got into baseball and
New York Suns, maybe.
New York Suns.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember that team, but I'm sure they existed
Let
somewhere.
me tell you a story,
Were
actually.
they the NASCAR team?
No.
Okay.
Let me tell you a story, actually. I was being chased by recruiters for years when I was in high school.
Recruiters?
Yeah, recruiters trying to get me into the Navy or the Army
Oh,
or
okay,
whatever.
yep.
One time this guy calls me up. He's like, hey, how'd your football team do this year? Thinking I'd say the Patriots didn't do so well. Or actually, I think they made the World Series or whatever. But
Patriots don't play in the World Series.
exactly what my point. So I'm like, I'm going to get this guy. Oh, man, the Cardinals didn't do too good, man. Not this year. I wish. It's like, what? Yeah, the Cardinals, they're not a football team. I'm like, they're not?
The Cardinals are a football team. They play in Phoenix.
No, the Cardinals are a baseball team.
But there's a Cardinals football team that plays in Phoenix, too.
You're an idiot, Jason.
There's a Cardinals football team that plays in Phoenix.
Well, then, I didn't even say Cardinals. I can't remember what I said.
Oh, so what did you say?
I don't remember what I said.
So that's not important, is it?
The important part is that
Okay.
it wasn't a football team.
You believe this, Mike? He tells a story and then I just kill him right there?
The Cardinals, man. Phoenix sucks, all right? It's the Phoenix Suns.
That's a basketball
Basketball.
team.
You all suck.
Oh, Mike, do you have anything more important to say? Come on.
No. See, he doesn't have anything to say. Look at him sitting in his room by himself.
You guys kept talking though. I forgot.
Wait till he opens his mouth and it'll really make people mad.
Screw you, jerk.
See? Oh,
Oh, Dema Fighting Woods.
yeah.
I'm team down.
He can't say that on the air. It's fighting words.
Dema Fighting Woods.
Jason and I had a little talk. He said,
My hair's a mess.
My hair's a mess.
It is.
But this Red Sox hat that I'm
couldn't
wearing,
see it before.
I've had since I was a kid. And, okay, I'm going to do something that I usually don't do, okay? This hat hasn't been washed
Oh,
Okay.
since
Wait, 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 wait,
that
wait.
hat,
Look at that.
no, that hat hasn't
This
been
hat.
washed since the Red Sox won the first World Series.
They did win the first World Series.
Their first World Series.
They won the first World Series in
Cy Young.
1903.
You know where that happened?
Yeah, Northeastern.
World Series way,
Cy Young.
right next to Greenleaf
There's a
Avenue.
little like, statue that you can, touch.
Yeah, I
Right.
touch it all the time, naked.
Well,
Okay,
he looks kinda-
is that my cue to get up now?
Why?
We don't have cues in this show.
Am I sitting too close?
Do you want to leave or something? I mean,
No, I'm good. So,
we can talk more about wrestling. Or
Yeah, we're
wrestling.
only halfway through the show.
I
well,
watch wrestling.
well, wrestling.
Who the heck is
well,
that? Is that your friend?
Who?
I don't know.
There's a whole lot of kids here.
Okay. Well,
Can't pack TV.
well, we don't want to talk about that, but anyway.
Let's get out of here.
Well,
Um,
did you have a monologue to do or something? Because maybe I can take off. What?
I don't have a monologue.
Yeah,
but I
there are a
have
lot of
plenty
people here. I gotta go.
Get them out of the way,
Okay.
'cause they're on
well,
TV.
why don't you do your monologue and have a good rest of the show, and I'll
Thanks for being a guest.
Hey,
and
anytime.
try to
I
get
try-
on
It's
you
a
here.
lot.
I try. Take it
And,
easy, kids.
Try not to worry too much about this baseball because they're never
You know
going
what?
to
I don't want to hear it.
win. Okay?
Try not to walk in front of the camera.
I'm not gonna walk in front of the camera.
Try
He's
not
the
to.
first guest not to do that.
Woo! Oh yeah! All right.
Maybe she's something.
You rock.
He's all the people.
Well,
I-
ask
I-
them
Don't
to.
worry, Jason. I asked them all for their permission to put them on the air.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Then put them on the air. I don't care.
they're all. I don't know.
They don't realize what show it is, though. Okay, now we're back with the ghost from Pack TV.
There he is.
He's mic'd as well. You can't see that. Dave asked me if I have a monologue. I don't. But actually, I do have some information for you. December 3rd. It's a Friday night. There's going to be two bands. One band's Romo Box. They're playing down at the Elks Club in Middleborough. And the doors open at 8 o'clock. And the show starts at 8:30. You should be there because we're going to be there. Me and Mike. We're going to be filming, and we're going to...
That's what he thinks.
We're going to be asking questions of everybody and maybe get some prizes. It's a 21 plus show, so make sure when you go, you're 21 or you have your fake ID or whatever. Because Mike's got his fake ID and it worked last night, right, Mike?
Oh yeah, I needed that last night.
The other night,
I didn't
actually.
even get into a rated R movie.
He's got to pretend he's 18 sometimes.
So, do you want to put our phone number up here?
Yeah, we should put the phone number. We
Put our
haven't.
phone number up. We got some. We got over 50 phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
50 phone calls. There's our phone number.
49 of them didn't go through, but we did get 50.
49 of them weren't legible.
You guys need to figure out. See, you say NASCAR isn't going to work here, but you should have heard the phone calls we got. Because I beg to differ. It will. Actually, speaking of NASCAR, I'm looking for a co-host starting in February for a NASCAR show. And if you're the kind of person that watches this show and likes NASCAR, man, you're perfect.
I won't be on that show.
Especially if you're female. If you're female, man, that'd be the best.
Yeah, female and into NASCAR. What are the odds of that?
Actually, I'll ask my probability teacher.
Okay.
That'd be a good
Is it
one.
a guy or a girl?
It's a guy. He'd be like, oh my God, that's unfathomable.
And that lives in Plymouth.
And not married to a redneck? Yeah, and that lives in the 45,000 people in Plymouth and whatever it is in Kingston. The demographics here are just poor. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's her prom date.
Oh, my prom date. How's she doing? I haven't called her up in a long time.
And she's been, she hit the bottle pretty hard, from what I heard.
Well, after being a prom date with me, it's all downhill from
You
there.
know it.
Actually, that's what I hear.
There's her email address as well. Those
P-A-D@excite.com. Not PAD.
No, that guy got really mad. He forwarded all the mail to us.
Yeah, we got like 50,000 people sending him mail, and he got really upset with us. He called us up at home. He called Excite and found out our number. Not sure how that happened,
I
but
know, he's got my social security number. I gotta talk to him about that. That's just the internet, you know?
so how was your day yesterday?
Yeah, I'm tired. That's basically it. I had to work for a day straight, 24 hours.
You're very blue too. You look like a Smurf in there.
Oh, that's because, Pat, the genius. Right, balance the camera out there, not here. Hey,
Oh,
give him a break.
poor Pat.
Actually, I think
Bye.
there he is.
I see Dave and
This
somebody
is
with a
Robert,
Red
right?
Sox fetish, and everybody does that. Why does everybody do that? It's like not cool anymore.
I know.
That was cool when I was 7, but I
What
don't
is
care.
this? What is his shirt say?
Something about Red Sox.
Oh, I thought it said fart Ford. I'm reading it.
What did you think it said?
I bet it said fart Ford. I thought it was like a thing against Fords or something.
Actually, what's wrong with Fords, man? What's that?
He is in NASCAR secretly.
Yeah, he is. He's got the Ford racing jacket.
You know it.
I told someone I was going to get that, and they told me to get a life.
His homepage is GoRacing.com.
That's my homepage. Actually, I'm waiting for the email.
So it gets 2 hits a day, basically.
No, quite a few more. Hey, is Anya going to come on? Hey, come on, Anya. Come on. I'm alone here. I'm alone here. Come on. We'll talk about knockwurst. I love
Again, we
knockwurst.
have a caller.
What do you mean we have a caller?
I don't know.
I take it that's a no.
Our show has come to a stop.
Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Dead
Oh,
air.
wait,
Dead air.
there's
Dead
one
air.
of our
Dead air.
biggest fans right there.
That's our only fan.
The fish lady or whatever. I don't know her name.
She's actually the producer of 3 for the Road. The fish lady.
I don't know her name.
Does she want to come on and explain her show? Come on.
Well, how would you like to come on our show and talk?
What'd she say?
I don't know. They're talking about us. Here.
These guys are horrible. These guys suck.
Set them up.
They should be off the air.
They're like, oh, they're gonna be gone in 2 weeks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll probably take off and
Here's
leave
your
us with
prom date.
one. You know it. Awesome spread in Maxim magazine.
Yeah. Do we have any of those? I meant to find more pictures of, chicks.
What in the world is wrong with these guys? None of them want to be on TV. They all want to be. Come on, you got out here. We'll talk about wrestling.
Who, me?
We're gonna have Cody Boynes on. That'll be fun. We got to reschedule that though. We had a little issue.
A little issue was, oh, right, because,
Tidal
they
wave.
did-
A tidal wave and a tsunami came in and took him away.
Oh, right.
It's not because I'm an idiot,
No,
you moron.
we were, his show was on before our show, Tuesday nights, am I right?
Yeah,
And he's got some hot chicks on there.
1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah, they're a little, like I said last week, they're a little hyper.
They're wicked spastic though. That's the only problem.
Wow, I want to kick him out of bed.
Thank God we have an audience tonight because I'm sure they. What do you mean I need guests? That's not even my font. My bug or whatever the heck it's called. What do they call it? My super.
You're super.
Yeah, super sandwich.
What?
I don't know. I'm not the one who came up with it, all right?
Nice watch.
Yeah, you want to see it glow?
Really?
Yeah, whatever.
I want to see it disappear. I think this is the best show we've ever done.
We've
I
done
know we
one or
had a
two.
guest tonight. That Dave got.
I'm putting my watch on.
And we have our microphone back tonight too.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? It got stolen last week.
Yeah, they bought a new one. It cost $10,000.
Some varmint. Oh, you know what was in the news? You know what was in the news, man?
No.
This guy, he was a police guy in Paris, Kentucky, and he got caught shooting cats.
Uh-huh.
He was shooting the cats because they were pretty much like mice or something, but he was shooting them. But what the picture was, he was sitting there giving a thumbs up, holding a gun with 4 dead cats.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think of that?
That's funny that he likes to shoot cats and I like to eat pussy.
I can't believe you just said that.
I didn't say anything wrong.
What wasn't wrong about that? It was disgusting.
Oh, the fact that I like to eat felines?
We're talking about,
I'm just joking. I have a little kitty at home.
and you eat it?
No.
We're talking about a serious subject
You're
here.
an idiot.
And then all of a sudden you go off and you pretend that you're some kind
It's
of
called
wacko.
raw humor.
Now we have to dub that out.
I know.
Mike is a loser.
All right, time to put up a title.
I'll talk about NASCAR. You know, did you cut my mic? All Dale Jarrett has to do is clinch the title. To clinch the title is come in 31st in the next 2 races, or come in, I think, 9th in the next race. That's not very nice.
I don't know. Pat came up with this.
Pat, what a jerk. That guy is such a jerk.
He's only about 2 feet tall. Give him a break.
No, I didn't. We've got an audience in here. You folks at home can't see it, but none of the audience members want to come on the screen. And in fact, she was being very vulgar earlier.
Vulgar, yes.
Yeah, she gave me a reverse thumbs up. Let's just say that one.
Oh!
What did I do to you?
That's like an international thing, huh?
I guess so.
There you go.
What did I do to you?
You really pissed her off.
Apparently, she must watch the show. That must be it.
She knows that you like that Lily chick better.
Do I?
Yeah?
Oh, I can't wait.
So.
She's going to be on the show tonight live, man. I got that taped.
You do know that?
No, I don't have it taped.
No.
I didn't tape it because I figured last week it's the same thing as this week.
That's true.
Where's my writer? My writer should be in here anytime.
You're a writer?
Yeah,
Oh,
he'd
that's
come on
right.
the show.
Yeah,
Actually,
very nice.
this is what I get from my writers once a week. It's packed with things to say, as you can see. That's page 1. This is page 2. Now watch it, because page 3 is really very intense. Let's go back to our guest. What is it like haunting the mansion at PAC TV?
Well,
You guys can't hear this, but he says he likes it.
I mean, we should have mic'd him.
He's mic'd, but he's sitting on it.
Oh, right. Because he's a big fat ass.
Well, not really, but that's not a nice thing to say.
So, what do you care?
So guys, December 3rd at the Elks Lodge in Middleborough at 8 o'clock. Be there, because you can see us, and we'll try to take the mic, and we'll try to definitely get some opinions from you guys.
We will try to not only have video, but sound as well. That's our goal.
What do you mean by that?
He said he'll take your mic.
We're just going to take a mic.
We're just going to take the microphone.
I'll
We'll
walk
take the
around.
camera.
I'll walk around with a microphone and just ask people questions. It won't even be attached to anything. I was like, hey, what do you think of Plymouth After Dark? And if he says something bad, I'll just delete it.
Right, delete it.
Doesn't matter. It's all in the head.
That's right.
We've actually only gotten about 49 bad responses to this show
Right.
out of the 50 calls that we got.
I had a death threat and a letter bomb.
Can you put that up? Because we haven't had it up hardly for the whole show, and we want people to call.
The phone number or the email.
And this is about the time that they're going to get really bored and call.
Right. Actually, we have to put the credits up in a second here.
Good for the credits. When is our guest coming in? Pat, when's our guest coming in?
Maybe the next show.
You're supposed to line up the guests for us, right? Yeah. Oh boy, this is technical aspirations.
Technical aspirations.
This is the best
Technical lacerations.
technical show. We had a pretty good show until we lost our interviewee again, as usual.
Well, right. There's our credits. They got cut off a little bit last week.
They get cut off anyway, so I guess it's irrelevant.
Right. And our phone number, our email address is right there again.
Make sure you put up the 1-888 Excite 2
Right.
and 4 After Dark.
4 After Dark.
So if you want to call and complain or say, you guys are doing great, we want to be your guest because we love you so much, go ahead. We don't
There's
mind.
our phone number.
We'll make more.
And when they ask for the phone, you can type those in on your touch-tone phone, or you can say them, but don't say 4 After Dark. You have to say the numbers.
Yeah, because we haven't paid her enough to understand that yet.
I know, she is such a bitch. Lady.
She is so
She-
dense.
You have no idea how pissed I was at her. But our show is over, and so I'll say goodbye, Jason.
Bye.